Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the new, relatively new, Kaba Ilco 452 series heavy-duty Deadlatch. This is a showcase item from their relatively new line of storefront door hardware. This lock body, when I received it here to do a review on it, removed it from the package and thought, well, okay, it looks like everybody else's lock body, except that I have to admit it did seem to be more substantial. I felt my initial impression was, well, that's a nice heavy-duty lock, sure, I like that a lot. And then when I started to study it further, I noticed there's some things on here that you don't see on other locks. So at that point, I played with the lock and put it down. I recognized the balance of the contents, the strike, the faceplate. And then I pulled out the paperwork and started to look at it. And immediately I realized that I was looking at the next evolution of aluminum storefront deadlatch locks. And it made me realize that Kaba Ilco, here's a company that's thinking about it thoroughly, how to differentiate themselves from the people they compete against, how to be special, how to be desired. Why would a distributor, a locksmith, want to use the product? And there are some significant noticeable improvements in this lock that do absolutely separate itself from the competition. Okay. First of all, before we get to those things that are quite unique to this lock, you need to know that this is considered a grade 1 lock. That is the heaviest duty ANSI standard. Okay, that ought to be 1,000,000 cycles, and that's really what I was talking about. I thought, boy, that's a nice quality lock. It felt heavy in the hand, so to speak. Now, there are three things that I started to notice. It's this screw, these two plates right here, and this bolt right here. Now, let's hit them. Let's tackle them. First of all, one of the added features is the ability to change hands without disassembling the lock. That is super simple, super straightforward. You depress your latch back a little bit and you remove that screw, and all you're going to do is remove this bolt. You're going to turn it over, put it back in, screw it in on the other side. It's that simple. And, you know, if you're a seasoned professional, someone who is a locksmith, you might say, yeah, that is a nice feature, sure. But you're, of course, accustomed to removing these screws, pulling this plate out, and then the springs that you need to pull the entire mechanism out to flip it over and put it back in. I get it. I got it. I've done that countless times. The bottom line is, this is better. It's faster. It's more convenient. You don't run the risk of losing any parts. If you're a first timer, you don't run the risk of ruining the lock, is the bottom line. So, got your screw. Going to loosen that. That screw is going to come out. Okay, I've got the screw here. Going to take that out. Got those two hardened pins that are in there. I'm going to put it back the way, or the opposite way. Now, the screw that was on my face is now on your face. These are going to come from the factory however you tell them. Left hand, right hand reverse, right hand, left hand reverse. But the bottom line is you might be in a position where you need to rehand it for whatever reason. And this operation is a lot more sure, a lot more secure, a lot less prone to mistakes. I love it. I love it because, you know, someone sat down and thought about it. How can we make it better? And I appreciate that. The second thing that you're going to see here is the newly added depth adjusting screws via these tube spacers allow for quick and precise installation without the use of mounting tabs. Okay. To install, simply measure the depth from the back of the stile on the inside wall of the face of the door, and then adjust this tube spacer. You can't see it real well, but well, sure you can. That's going to take an Allen wrench. Put your Allen wrench right in, and you're going to thread that tube spacer in or out. Okay? And that's going to give you the ability to securely hold that in there. And of course you've got your, should you need, your machine screws. But your installation is going to be based on those tube spacers. Okay? Get that on the body, in your preparation, turn it out, and you're in good shape. I've had people, you know, pervert this sort of design and remove these mounting brackets and then use a tab. But this tube spacer idea really does indeed allow for quick and precise installation without the use of mounting tabs. So that's the second improvement of this general lock. The third, these adjusting these beveled tabs that you see here. Now what that means is this rotating tab, as I rotate that, if you'll kindly just study the fact that it looks thin there and thicker there. Well, it's kind of tough to say, but this face on the tip of my finger is thinner than this face. That's thicker. Now, why is that important? Well, you know how you've got left hand and right hand beveled faceplates? No more the case with this. You use a flat faceplate, you'll set your beveled template left or right, or if it's flat, just point them down. There is an arrow indicating there. Point your arrow facing each other or down, whatever the case might be, then they're flat. Okay? Radiused, no problem. It's really good stuff. Really, the only thing that's going to put you into a handed position, of course, is when you've got a piece of weather strip faceplate that's here. So you're going to have a flat faceplate, you're going to have a radiused faceplate, and with these beveled tab indicators, you're going to be able to handle more scenarios than you would otherwise. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the lock is grade 1. That's heavy duty, and I agree that it certainly feels like it's a grade 1 lock, whereas that's not always the case. 1 1/8" back set only. That is the dimension from the edge of the door to the center of the hole. This is a steel case with a corrosion-resistant plating. Sure looks like a zinc dichromate, you know, something like that you're going to see. All metal latch bolt. Auxiliary latch bolt features an anti-jimmy provision when this is properly installed and that's depressed. You can't push that in. Handing is easily reversible. We demonstrated that. Now, you've got some faceplates that you can have with these. Touched on earlier. You're going to have a flat faceplate. You can have a beveled faceplate. You can have a radiused faceplate and then a radiused with a weather strip. So in this 452 scenario, you're really going to be dealing with your flat style faceplate. Then you could take and tip that in or out. This is obviously aluminum, by the way, 628, satin aluminum, clear aluminum, I should say. Radiused faceplate. It's not uncommon to have a radiused aluminum door. Again, aluminum, clear anodized aluminum finish. I have an example of the 313 finish, which is dark bronze, and a flat faceplate. That's 313. You can also get this in 335 finish, which would be black, and that's very common. You can also order it with both an aluminum and dark bronze faceplate should you be a distributor and you want to reduce inventory as much as possible. That's a good point for that. Now, you've got 2 strikes that you can have with this unit. The very typical and common strike is here. It's going to be the 2 5/8 tall strike. Okay. 1 7/8 or 1 15/16. Lip length from center line, typical about 1 3/8 or so. You will get a plate for attaching that to the frame, and then of course your strike to the reinforcing plate. You will certainly get a screw package, bolts that you'll need. You will get a dust box to clean that off right behind there. Okay. Then you have the larger strike. the 4 9/16 tall strike. Okay. Same with dimensions. Again, about 1 3/8 inches. This Kaba Ilco, like all things Kaba Ilco, is easily specified by building the part number as you need it to be built. The 452 series is available only in an 1 1/8" back set. They have their 451 that you can order in 31/30 seconds, 1 1/8" or 1 1/2" back sets. Those are all common. 1 1/8" is the most common. So you have your option of faceplate, of back set, of handing, of strike size, and then your strike shape and lip length. They can do some custom variations on that. And then, of course, your finishes. Your lock is going to be packaged with, well, the sheet that emphasizes those 3 points that differentiate this lock from everybody else. And then, of course, a template. You'll be able to study the dimensional requirements of the lock to make sure that if you're replacing an existing lock that you have what it takes for it to fit or can accommodate that. It will accept any cam that has this dimensional property, cam A. All right, that's included with the package. And then after that, I'm proud to be able to bring to your attention this lock that has, helped evolve the typical Deadlatch that is installed in millions, countless installations. And I'm so impressed with the forethought that went into making this lock. I say only to you, Kaba, figure out a way to make one lock body with all 3 back sets. And I bet, based on seeing this lock, that you're probably hard at work on that. My name is Rich Howard. I'm the owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video was to bring you a closer look at that Kaba Ilco 452 series. By all means, reach out to us if you have any questions on this or any of their storefront aluminum door hardware. Thank you very much.